Welcome to Great Scott Science. Question for you. You feeling stressed? Yeah, me too. Well, how about we make a stress ball today? We have some fun exploring different ways to make different stress balls. Now, I know there are probably a million kind of stress balls out there you can purchase at the dollar store, all that. Probably even a million more instructional videos that you can find on how to make your own. So, is this video on how to make stress balls going to be any different than the rest? Probably not. But I thought it'd be fun to try some different things, some different materials, some variations, and see if you might enjoy that too. So anyway, when I was looking, I was trying, the old stress ball I used to make was out of a balloon, and inside is flour. Okay, so flour. So the funnest part about making them is trying to get that flour inside the bottle, and inside the balloon. There's different ways to get it in there. You can use, a funnel and different thing. Now this stress ball has cornstarch. I like cornstarch because it's kind of stiff and it makes a great sound. And so, yeah, you can just pour some of that in your balloon through a funnel, tie it off, and sometimes you can tie it off, and I trimmed off the tail, all right, once I tied the balloon off, and then actually gave it another balloon around it and trimmed it up. So you don't have the little nub, you don't have the balloon tail, and it's double strength. But listen to the sound cornstarch makes. So yeah, it's fun to squeeze, kind of stressed, but my favorite is the sound. Reminds me of walking in snow in the hills in Colorado. Kind of fun. Well, that's kind of a stiff version. All right, so you can make the stiff kind of version of the stress balls using different fine powders. Cornstarch is my favorite. Like I said, flour works, confectioner's sugar. But anyway, that just gives you... The next, you can change it up a little bit by making your stress ball more stiff, or it holds its shape a little bit more. So it doesn't kind of bounce back, it just kind of squishes and stays. And that would be used, or you could use things like beans would be a good one. Rice works well. Lentils, split peas. I just looked in my kitchen cabinet. I happen to have a big old jar of sesame seed. So I used sesame seed in this one. And I kind of like its shape, and the texture's kind of fun. You can kind of see that there. Kind of a fun sound, but that's easy. But today I'm going to spend the rest of my time talking about the squishy stress ball. Okay, so how do you make it squishy? A lot of different ways. I like making slime, so I tried some with slime. So here's one that has slime inside it, and that's kind of fun because it pops and makes that. And yeah, but if that happened to break, that's not a stress reliever. That would be a stress maker if that sucker popped, right? Okay, so that's one you could do. You can make silly putty, all different kinds of that slime. So there's Floam, there's, I don't know, just a ton. But what my favorite version is putting water beads. I don't know if you know about these guys. Sure you do. Little water beads, little polymer spheres that soak up water. When you put them in water, they expand. They expand about anywhere between 150 to 200 times their weight in water. And they can go anywhere from, look how small they are when they start. Now, there's many kinds of different water beads out there. I've heard of, Orbeez, and this one happens to be Little Gen water beads, but they're commonly known in the scientific world as water polymer crystals. And you can get them in different colors, you can get them in different shapes. Okay, so here I've got clear ones. Here I've got some, these aren't circles, or these aren't spheres, but red and different kind of polymer gels there. So what they do, you put them in water, they expand. And the more water you put them in, the bigger they expand. And now they have a limit of how big they can get, but that's the fun, to see what size works well. Now, what you could do is you could soak them in water, let them expand, and then try to get them into the balloon that way. That works. But I found it fun to start by taking of the balloon and just pouring the beads straight in there. and then adding the water. So depending on how much bead you put in and how much water you put in, you can get beads of different size. So here I've got the green one, and look what happens when I squeeze that. Oh, that is just fun. I could do that for a long time. There's a little bit bigger size there. All right, so let me show you real quick how I've done that. So let's take a balloon, and let's start with a green balloon. And by just adding your funnel, you don't have to have a funnel, you can figure out, cut off the top of a water bottle, that works well. And then you're going to pour in your beads, and I'll just use the multicolor ones in this one. And the more you put in, the smaller size of the bead will expand. The less you put in, it'll get bigger. Also depends on how much water you put in too. So I want to just fill that about halfway with the water beads. Now, probably a less messier way is to now take that balloon, go to a faucet, put it under the faucet like you would an old-fashioned water balloon, and put some water in it to where it might be about the size of your palm. But I'm going to just try it here for the camera's sake in front of using a water bottle. So without turning the beads into the water, put the balloon, stretch it over the mouth of the bottle, and I'm sure this will spill a little bit, but let's get a little bit of water in there. Again, the more water I put in, the bigger it'll be. And I'm not going to go too much bigger. All right, let's just try that. Turn it over without spilling it. And there we go. This might be a little bit of small one, so maybe I'll add a little bit of air. All right, so then tie that off. Now, that won't take long for that water for those water beads to expand as they soak up and hold the water. Little polymers that just start to enlarge, hold 150 to 300 times the amount of weight in water. Okay, and then of course you can just trim off your tail or put another balloon over it. How do you get another balloon over it? Well, the trick is to take a balloon and cut off its tail right at the base of where the round part of the balloon would be, and then put that over the balloon. You can stretch it out, and that takes a little bit. Might even want to trim off, so that way you won't have it. But when you're done, you're gonna have something that kind of looks like this. Here, I've trimmed off the tail, and a little bit. You could kind of glue that, but it's kind of fun. I used a balloon that had a face on it, and you can see the gel in there. Squishy stress ball, full of fun. Some more variations to the stress ball. Let's see. In addition to using the beads, what I did is I took a bag that held onions. You know, the kind of vegetable bags you would get at the grocery store where they come pre-packaged. Well, the bag itself is great, kind of almost like a fishnet material. Well, I took mine off my bag of onions, cut it open, and took some and wrapped it around one of the balloons, one of the stress balls. And so this works really well with the squishies. So it's kind of fun to do this kind of thing where it comes popping out. You've seen those before. So that's a little variation for the stress ball. Anyway, hope you had fun with this one. Give it a try if you like it. Give me a thumbs up. Share it if you like. Or subscribe, and we'll send more to you like this. More things to try at home. Asking questions, answering them yourself, being your own scientist. Hope you had fun.